Well, thanks everybody for being here. Uh, I'm happy for this moment. I'm happy for the support that Omaha has been giving me over the years. Uh, I would say I'm blessed. Um, it's been a roller coaster, but you know we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, we made it. And it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the faith to keep going no matter what the obstacles is put in front of you, and you can achieve anything. So I practice that to the kids because coming from Omaha, nobody thinks you're capable of doing extraordinary. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Kind of nervous. The big stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean. So they just think small town. We don't have no great athletes. We don't have no great actors, rappers. Nothing. They just look over us and everything that we do. And most of the people that make it from Omaha, they don't come and give back, or they leave and don't turn around and look back. So it was very important for me to stay in Omaha to give those young individuals hope and to be able to see, a person that's at the top of the world in a craft and in a sport, to be able to say he's still here and I can actually physically see him and touch him, and to know that it's possible. So I think that's very critical for these young individuals, because when you're looking at them, they just need an outlet and motivation, and I'm that motivation for them to succeed in whatever it is in life. They see me and they look at hope. They say, "Oh, that's hope. If he can do it, I can do it." And that's my main thing, is I want to have them, believing in themselves and knowing that, they can come from anywhere in the world and they still can succeed. So I thank y'all for coming out. We're going to have a great parade, and we're going to, we're going to party later on tonight. I hope all y'all come, and we're going to have a good day today. So let's celebrate, and enjoy one another, and that's it.
Community of Omaha that are behind you and in your corner, since even though you were fighting Canelo, one of the biggest Mexican boxers, and there were a lot of people from the Mexican community that were behind you and cheering you on.
It's the same thing. I appreciate them. It's no different because they Latino. Like I said, I've been, locked in with the Latino community since I started boxing. So, the Latinos is just like any other, race. We all one at the end of the day. We got to support each other and look at each other like brothers and sisters.
But first off, congrats on the...
You went against me, huh?
What's that?
You went against me?
No, I picked you, but...
I mean,
I wanted to talk to you about looking at the accomplishment, like, have you had a chance to look back at the fight? If you did, what sticks out to you about the fight that maybe didn't stick out to you in the moment of fighting Canelo?
nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing sticked out to me because, I was in the moment. So I understood everything that was going on. There was some surprises, I can say that, but, me being in that moment and knowing everything that was going on when it was happening, it was like everything just slowed down to me at that moment.
Have you given thought about like what other goal or challenge seems interesting to you?
To be honest, no. I just been chilling, I've been on a pew 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 since the fight, so I really ain't had time to even decompress, really. So I ain't got time to think about my next move or anything.
Omaha has always been behind you. When it comes to today, having the parade, having all the officials here, and to be celebrating you, and you're talking about giving back, to have Omaha giving back to you, the state of Nebraska giving back to you, what does that mean today?
It means everything, because me putting Omaha on my back since I was a kid, fighting at the Quest Center in 2006, and everybody coming out to support me as a kid, you know, and me taking that in the ring as a professional, and every fight that I fought in, I'm repping my city and my state, Omaha, because when you look at all these other states and stuff like that, they say, oh, well, I'm from New York, or I'm from Texas, I'm from Chicago, I'm from Omaha, you know, so I'm going to rep my city just like everybody around the world rep their city. So, you know, I love that Omaha is supporting me, and I, you know, love them, you know, and we support each other.
If I can follow up, just what does today mean also in terms of, like, you've been talking about, you've been all over doing press tours and everything else, but does today kind of feel like an exhale almost of, like, now I get to just have fun and enjoy back in your city?
Yeah, you know, man. Like I said, man, we gonna have a good time tonight. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the parade. I'm kind of mad that it's a whole bunch of construction going on. You know, it's hard to get out here. But you know what I mean?
Construction means progress.
Yes, it definitely does. But we gonna make it do what it do, and I'm expecting a great turnout today.
Hey, Terence, normally when people watch on-time breaks, they don't really always know until it's at the end. And there's always that saying that you never really, appreciate someone until, like, they're better and gone. Do you kind of relate to that quote? And on top of it, do you feel like, especially today, that you're getting your flowers as that all-time?
Yeah, for sure. But it's still, when you look at it, it's still excuses. Like I said before the fight, every one of my biggest fights, I say, I'm going to be prepared for the excuses. When you so great and you so much ahead of your competition, they look at the fighters that you fight and say they nobodies because how much you beat them by or the level of skills that you oppose against them. So when I fight this guy, it's all he was a nobody. When I fight this guy, all he was washed. When I fight this guy, it's an excuse, So who you want me to fight? I beat this guy, it's an excuse. I beat this guy, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to get my full respect until afterwards. Yes, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. We really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the number one guy that's the face of boxing, and the way that I handled that, people like, oh, man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, so I just think, when you that much better than the competition, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
Last one.
Hey, Bud, it's Box Office Dom. You distinguish yourself among all your peers with that phenomenal win. I'm not sure there's another name that can elevate you further. So if you could fight any fighter from any era, who would it be and why?
Why everybody always ask me that question?
We got a different one.
Hey, everybody, yeah, give me a different one, because I'm like...
But how important is preparation for you, and what advice did Bo Mack hammer in with you, or maybe what tape resonated with you the most?
I think preparation is everything. If you prepare to the best of your abilities, great things is going to come from that. I always say hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. So if you talented, without the work ethic, somebody can outwork you that want it more. So you got to have everything all in sync. You got to work hard, especially when you're at the top, because everybody gunning from you. Everybody working extremely hard to dethrone you. And in camp, Bo Magnum just basically was just telling me stay disciplined. stay disciplined, because knowing me, I'm a fighter. You know, I like to fight. So sometimes I get hit. You know, I'll be like, oh, I need to get that back. Let's go. You know, so it's all about staying disciplined, stay composed, and listening to your team and having faith in them.
All right,
How
thanks
does
everyone.
five division
Thanks,
champion
everyone.
Thanks
sound to
everyone.
you?
We've got to do